Man, you guys are in for a treat today. I'm going to share the rest of the story about homeless Joe. Now, a couple of weeks ago, my daughter Sutton on her channel shared a little tidbit, a little piece of the story about homeless Joe. So many of you started writing me and asking me to tell the rest of the story. So that's what you're going to get today. Hang on. Now, back in 2008, we had a custom home built and our family of 5 moved into it. It was on 4 acres, moved in. We're so excited, got us a nice house to fit everybody. And the craziness started happening. So we're in the new house. It's kind of big. You know, everybody's got their own room. And we start seeing things like maybe muddy boot tracks through the kitchen. So we all blame it on each other. I blame it on my youngest daughter because she's kind of that tomboy, always outside riding the 4-wheeler or something. We're blaming it on her. She's blaming it on me. So we see the muddy tracks and we just never figure out what's going on. Then later it started elevating to where we see this pack of crackers on the counter, maybe an open jar of peanut butter. Somebody had been making crackers, so we all blame it on each other. You know, we're going and doing because my daughters are all teenagers at this point. So everybody's got their cars, they're driving their own life, they're going. So we start blaming it on each other. And then things started getting kind of crazy. So my oldest daughter, McKenna, was upstairs. It's in the middle of the night. We all sleep with fans. We just love that white noise to be able to sleep through. So we don't hear a lot going on in the house. But McKenna had stayed up later. She didn't have her fan on and she hears pots and pans rattling downstairs. So she calls us on her cell phone, wakes us up. She says, "Hey, I hear pots and pans. What are y'all doing down there?" We weren't in the kitchen. We didn't hear that noise. So we turn our fan off and we start listening. So then again, the pans start rattling a little bit. I jump up, look in there. Nothing's in the kitchen. Nothing's anywhere. Nothing's really displaced. My daughter comes down. It's like, almost midnight. She can't believe it. We're looking everywhere. We're wondering what that sound was. So that was kind of the first real, hey, something's going on in this house. Then later, another day, my daughter McKenna was home by herself and she hears something downstairs. So we had an intercom system through our house. She pushes to listen and she hears a guy's voice telling our dog to be quiet because we had a little Bichon. He was in his crate. He was kind of stirring around, so the guy was shushing my dog, and McKenna heard it on the intercom. So she calls me at work immediately. "Dad, there's somebody downstairs. I hear him." I said, "Hang up, call 911. I'm coming home immediately." I jump in my car. Man, I'm praying all the way home. I get there. My yard is surrounded by cops. There was 4 or 5 cops, and I believe there was even a full-blown fire truck there at my house. My daughter's outside. She's kind of shaking. The cops are talking to her. They're all inside looking around. And of course, they find absolutely nothing. Another time, my wife, Melinda, was cleaning the house. She's home by herself, kind of vacuuming, making noises, doing all the stuff that she does. And then as she's dusting, and it's not really that loud, she hears somebody say, "Melinda." And she turns around. She thinks one of us are home. She looks everywhere, kind of nothing, thought, well, that was weird. Then it does it again, "Melinda." And she realizes it's coming through the intercom system. So she freaks out. Somebody's calling her name through the intercom system. She goes outside, gets in her car. She's calling me at work saying that she heard something. The girls are almost home from school, so she waits the 30 or 40 minutes. They get home. They all go inside, look through the house. Of course, absolutely nothing can be found. Then another time, my youngest daughter, Cody, was home with her friend Lanier, and they're upstairs in their room, kind of quiet in the house. They hear the front door shut. So they yell down there, "Dad, Mom." Nobody answers. They don't hear anything. So then they just start hearing steps going around and they're calling everybody's name in the family. They just hear somebody walking downstairs. So my daughter, Lanier, knowing the history of what's already happened so far, they get in their closet, they lock the door. She calls me at work. I'm like, "Cody, call 911 right now. This is craziness." She calls 911. I get in my car, leave work again, get home, same scenario, cops everywhere. They're all in the yard. Cody's out in the yard with Lanier. The cops go through the house. Something funny this time. We had a full-size cardboard cutout of the actor Taylor Locklear, or whatever his name is, Taylor, who was in Vampire Diaries. The cops, as they're going through the house, turn around and with their guns into that room with Taylor standing there, and they almost blew that cardboard up, but then they realize it and they get a good chuckle. So when they came out, they told us that story of that freaking Taylor cutout scaring the fool out of them. So that was pretty funny. But again, the cops find absolutely nothing. So at this point, we're kind of thinking, is there really somebody here, or is our house haunted? I'm outside one day and I see my neighbor through the woods, and we kind of meet and we start talking. He's asking me how we like the new house, and we're getting kind of caught up. And I ask him, hey, there's something weird. I think our house is haunted because we hear things. There's pots and pans, there's crackers laid out, there's steps going through, muddy boot tracks. What is happening? This is really strange. He starts laughing, and he has this strange look on his face. And he says, oh, that's Homeless Joe. I'm like, what? Homeless Joe? What are you talking about? And he said, yeah, it's a guy that lives near here who breaks into houses. His family is known for doing that kind of stuff. He's got a military background. He's probably maybe 5'7", 130 pounds, just a little dude, but he's got a military background, and he is as stealth and sneaky as they come. He said he used to break into their house, would leave windows unlocked, leave doors unlocked. So every time he comes in your house, he leaves random things unlocked to let himself back in the next time. And who checks every single window and door in their house every single day? Nobody. We didn't do that. We didn't even think of doing that. So yeah, as I start looking through our house, that's exactly what the guy was doing in our house, leaving random things unlocked, so he always had a way back in. But the guy told me the craziest thing that he had done over there, not only using their toilet and just leaving it unflushed, which is disgusting, but he would do that just kind of leaving his mark. The scariest thing he did, where they really got upset about it, is he had gotten in one night, he grabbed one of their shotguns, leaned it against the bed where their teenage son was sleeping, just with the barrel kind of pointing right up at him, and then left. So the guy never stole anything, never really messed anything up, never vandalized anything, but that was kind of freaky and over the line. So they really just took it a step up and started doing things to prevent the guy from coming in. Of course, we built our new house. We got a new fresh target, a new family to start messing with. So he chooses us and leaves them alone. Yep, at this point, I'm thinking, let's get a camera. So we get a camera. It's right there in the foyer. We're trying to catch the guy. We're working with the cops, trying to figure this out. We're locking the windows, checking everything every single night to see if we can catch the guy. Only one time, a couple of weeks later. This whole story is over a year. It's a year story as it starts unfolding. But we do catch him on camera. And it was a little blur of him running through the foyer in a trench coat, long, scraggly gray hair. And yeah, he was maybe 5'7" or 5'8", a little bitty dude, probably in his early 70s, if not later 60s, but he looked a lot older than he really was. So we heard that people know who it is. We checked that picture against the neighbor and their stories and the cops and their stories, and we find out this guy does have a history of breaking into houses, and he's got a mugshot, and I'm going to show you that mugshot right there. That's what the dude looks like. Kind of scary, right? This is who was breaking into our house for over a year. Probably one of the freakiest, because he kept ramping it up a little bit, was my daughter Sutton, and this is what she shared on her channel. One night she's asleep. We're all a family of 5 there, everybody in their own room. My daughter's kind of sleeping. She wakes up groggy because she hears something, and she sees a dark figure going through her armoire. She had this armoire piece of furniture that you open up. It's got drawers in it, and she had clothes and socks and whatnot in there. Somebody's rummaging through that. She thinks it's her sister McKenna. She's like, McKenna, what are you doing? McKenna, what do you want? No answer, no nothing. So my daughter starts slowly waking up and realizing, oh crap, this is somebody. She runs out, runs into her sister's room. They all huddle together. They're freaking out. They're calling us on our phone. They're locked in their rooms. We run upstairs, nothing. It's a ghost. Nothing's there. Nobody, no nothing at all. Then it ramped up a little more. Here's my personal experience, because I was kind of always the bystander, the listening to the other stories, other than the muddy boot tracks and the crackers. I could see that, but I never heard him, never saw him, never anything until this moment. Me and my wife are home by ourselves. It's in the evening. I'm downstairs watching TV. She's in the bedroom. I hear something above my head walking, like stomp, 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 stomp. Stomp, 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 walking back and forth. I'm thinking, okay, nobody's home. There he is. It's my turn. I hear him upstairs. I'm going to nab his A. So I go into where my wife is, and I say, hey, come here. I want you to hear this. Listen to this. She comes out. We're very quiet. Stomp, stomp, stomp. I said, he's up there. I am getting my gun, and I am shooting his A because I've had enough. So I get my gun. Backstory, my brother is a retired special agent with the GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. He told me, as we're sharing these stories, if you ever approach him with a gun, you need to announce, I have a gun, it is loaded, and I will shoot you. Because you're letting them know there's no point of surprise. There's nothing. You're giving him a chance to leave or hide. So there's less likely a chance of confrontation or a shootout if you announce that, because you're giving him time to react to that, to do something. So here I go marching up the stairs. Man, my heart is just pounding because I had just heard him seconds earlier. I've got my gun. I make my announcement. I've got a gun. It's loaded and I will shoot you. I look everywhere. I look under the beds, in the closets. Our attic is a walk-in attic. So it's a door right there. You just walk into the attic. The attic is huge. It's monstrous. So I'm looking around, flashlight, gun. I'm thinking, I'm about to get shot. But I didn't care because I was over it. I looked everywhere. Nothing at all. He cannot be found. I don't know if he buried himself in insulation or what he did to get away, but I could not find him. So finally, we find that mugshot and we find out his address. We know where the dude lives. So unbeknownst to me, because I would have certainly stopped it, my wife didn't know it either, but my oldest daughter, McKenna, I think my youngest daughter, Cody, one of her friends, and McKenna's boyfriend at the time drive to his house. And they're thinking, wow, that's where the dude lives. I really want to do something. So they're scared to death. They don't know what to do. Their hearts are racing. My oldest daughter, McKenna, who's the littlest of all, goes up to his front door. Her boyfriend, scared to death, locked in the car. He ain't doing nothing. She walks up to the front door, knocks on the door. He comes to the door face to face with her. They're both about 5'7". And she said, you've been breaking into my house. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. You've been breaking into my house. I live at so-and-so, and you've been coming in, and we're over it. My dad will shoot you. We've got a security system. We've got cameras. The next time you come into our house, you will be on camera, and you will be shot. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. Totally denied it. Shut the door. They left, and we never heard from the guy again. We're no longer in that house. I have no idea if the new family that's in there is experiencing Homeless Joe, but that is our Homeless Joe story. We never caught him. We never shot him. We never were able to solve that mystery and catch him in the act. For a year, that guy got into our house. We knew he was there, but we never could catch him. That is our Homeless Joe story. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like other videos on my channel. Stay tuned, subscribers. I really love you and I appreciate it. Share my videos, tell your friends, because I give wisdom and little nuggets of advice on some other stuff. But today was story time, and I wanted you guys to know about Homeless Joe. Have a great day. See you next time.